Appreciate them with a round of applause, please.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please, we would like us to kindly sit together. Those of us at the back there, let's move to the front here, occupy all the seats. Please, except you are a member of the press, you move to this side, please. Please, let's sit together. Let's do that quickly. No. Sirs, please be seated. Please be seated, Mister. The students at the back then would like you to kindly move down to the side. Let's sit together. Let's occupy all of these seats that we have here. Please, let's do that quickly. People on this side also to kindly move here. Please, let's occupy all the seats we have here. And please, ushers, as we have more people join us, kindly fill all the vacant seats that we have at the front here. We welcome our traditional rulers. You are most welcome, KBACs. Shall we rise now, ladies and gentlemen, for first the national anthem, the first stanza of it, and the University of PHILOLOGY anthem. RUDN. Nigeria. The University of PHILOLOGY anthem. Very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Well, a very good morning to you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the University of UNILORN community, all our invited guests. We want to welcome you to the 4th Biennial International Conference, jointly put together by the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, University of UNILORN, and the Faculty of Philology, RUDN University in Russia. We welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. And this program has been themed Disruptive Technology, Human and Artificial Intelligence in the Digital Economy. I want to welcome all of you to this event. But distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I quickly want to do the introduction of some of the people we have at the front here, and also some other people we have here invited. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing to us our keynote speaker, the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Mr. Bashir Adili, NFR, FNIPR. And our distinguished guests, introducing to us our Vice Chancellor and the Chief Host of this event, distinguished Professor Wahab Olashupo Egbewale, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who is unavoidably not here physically, but is here ably being represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Technology and Innovation, Professor Mukhtar Adeza Itudaye. Also here, seated at the front, we have the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Mojita Ibad Bakari Odunola. You are most welcome, sir. Ma. I'd like to also recognize and welcome the presence here of the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Management Services, Professor Laliri Adeyemi. Also here, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Registrar and Secretary to the Governing Council of the University, Barrister Mansur Adeleke Afanla. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the protocol in this auditorium, when we introduce people to us, we have to really appreciate them. We are introducing to us the administration of the university. And also here, ladies and gentlemen, we have the University Librarian, Professor Kamaldeen Tunde Omopopa. Representing the University Boursa, this event, in her own right, a Deputy Boursa, Mrs. Sherifat Alege. You are welcome, madam. And I'd like to introduce to us and also welcome, or perhaps we say thank you for having us here, madam. The Dean of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, the hosts, Professor Saudat Salah Abdubeki, FNIPR. We told you that this program is jointly put together by RUDN University, Russia, and University of UNILORN. And representing RUDN University in our midst, our co-hosts, let's welcome Dr. Mustafa Mohammed Jamiu. You're most welcome, sir. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to also introduce to us and welcome in our midst the Acting Customs Area Controller, Kwara Area Command, Mr. Najim Akamu Ogundeji. You're welcome, sir. And we also have here Brigadier General N.N. Rume, the Commander 22 Armored Brigade, Sobi. Sir, you are most welcome. Welcoming also the Controller of Immigration, Kwara State. We have the representative here and Assistant Controller Immigration, OK Aliyu. Sir, you are welcome. And I'd like to also welcome the representative of the Nigerian Army Institute of Science, Education and Technology, representing the commandant. We have Lieutenant M. Abdurrahman. You're welcome, sir. And we have also the Deputy State Commander Operations and Training of NDLA, DCN Kenneth Odili. Sir, you're most welcome. And I'd like to also recognize in our midst our royal fathers. Thank you for always coming to identify with us. Please let's welcome His Royal Majesty, the Olojoku of Ojoku, Oba Abdulrazak Afolabi. We say God bless you. God bless you. Welcoming also the Ataoja of Oki, His Royal Majesty Oba Abdulganiyu Aliyu. Say God bless you. We also have the Kosunu Olokanle of Okanle, His Royal Majesty Oba Ismail Babatunde. Say God bless you. We also have here the Bonoyi of Jimba Oja Land, His Royal Majesty Oba Adebayo Ismail Olariwaju. We say God bless you. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have here present distinguished members of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Kwara State Chapter. Please put your hands together for yourselves wherever you are, under the chairmanship of Mr. Ogwade. And we want to welcome members of the fourth estate of the realm, the press. They were led here today by our Director of the Directorate of Corporate Affairs, Mr. Kunle Ibrahim Akogun. You are most welcome. We want to welcome all our distinguished deans of various faculties who are here. I saw here earlier the Dean, Faculty of Physical Sciences. Yes, he is here. Professor Adeke, you are welcome. We have directors of various units, centers, and directorates in the university. We want to welcome the Director CODL, Director GNS, Director Corporate Affairs. Please let's put our hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. Director CIA, the Center for International Education. We have them also from Archives. You are most welcome. Please let's put our hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences actually put this together, and the Dean is not standing all alone. We have all the heads of the department who are here. Please let's put our hands together for Professor Amin of Computer Science, Professor M.T. Bashir of Library and Information Sciences, Professor Dende Patrick of Mass Communication, Professor Sarah Biennial of Telecommunication Science, and Dr. Tia Folayo of Information and Communication Science. Don't we have people from all these departments around? Ladies and gentlemen, as I have other names of people to be recognized, they will duly be recognized. But then meanwhile, we have our former president, IDPU, Malam Waidi Hamid. You're welcome, sir. We have the former principal manager, Bank of the North Limited. He's a former principal manager, Bank of the North Limited, and also former NDCAU, UNILORN Microfinance Bank Limited. Another round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Well, to put this welcome address in perspectives, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to also recognize students of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences. The students of other faculties in the University of UNILORN, you're also very much welcome. And we can see some pupils who are there seated. You are most welcome. Please, let's appreciate them, ladies and gentlemen. To put this welcome address in perspectives, I'm inviting the host of this event, the Dean of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, Professor Saudat Salah Abdubeki.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, and other principal officers of the Better by Far University, University of Ilorin, our esteemed keynote speaker, Head of Kwara Command of Customs, distinguished service chiefs, honorable government officials, our revered traditional rulers, our lead paper presenters, members of the academia, especially those from the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, staff and students of the Better by Far University, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished scholars, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure and joy and appreciation that I warmly welcome you all to the 4th Biennial International Conference organized by the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, University of Ilorin, in collaboration with the Faculty of Philology, RUDN University, Russia Federation. Our faculty is a vibrant academic community comprising 5 dynamic departments, namely the Department of Computer Science, Library and Information Science, Information Technology, Mass Communication, and Telecommunication Science. Together, these departments form an interdisciplinary hub that bridges computing, information management, communication systems, digital innovation, and emerging technologies, thereby positioning the faculty as a significant contributor to knowledge production in the digital age. Today's gathering is far more than an academic exercise. It is a convergence of ideas, cultures, intellects, and global perspectives, united by a shared commitment to advancing knowledge, promoting research excellence, strengthening intercultural dialogue, and deepening international scholarly collaboration. The theme of this year's international conference is Disruptive Technology, Human and Artificial Intelligence in Digital Economy. This theme is both timely and highly significant. We live in an era where artificial intelligence, automation, machine learning, and digital technologies are rapidly transforming economies, governance, education, communication, security, and human interaction across the globe. This theme, therefore, challenges us not only to examine the impact of these disruptive technologies, but also to explore how human intelligence and artificial intelligence can coexist productively to drive innovation, ethical advancement, sustainable development, and inclusive growth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this conference is uniquely symbolic in its international outlook and continental representation. It brings together scholars and professionals from Africa, Europe, and Asia, reflecting the truly global nature of our technological discourse and our collective search for solutions in the digital age. We are deeply honored today by the presence of our distinguished keynote speaker, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, FNIPR, PhD. The Controller General of Customs, Federal Republic of Nigeria. He is a transformational leader whose commitment to institutional reforms, technological modernization, border intelligence coordination, and public sector innovation aligns strongly with the theme of this conference. His practical experience at the intersection of technology, administration, trade facilitation, and national development makes him exceptionally suited to deliver the keynote address. Let me appreciate him, please. We are equally privileged to host our distinguished lead paper presenters. Suhaili bin Hassan is widely recognized for his contributions to digital systems, computing technologies, and network communication. His expertise is particularly relevant at a time when the digital ecosystems and artificial intelligence continue to redefine human interaction and economic productivity globally. Similarly, we warmly welcome Ike Neliako, President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. As an accomplished communication strategist and advocate of ethical professional practice, his insights on strategic communication, reputation management, and stakeholder engagement provide an important human-centered perspective to conversations around artificial intelligence and digital transformation. Their combined expertise in technology, communication, and human systems will undoubtedly enrich our discussions throughout this conference. Distinguished guests, I sincerely appreciate the management of our Better by Far University under the visionary leadership of Wahab Olashukbo Egbewole SAN for creating an enabling environment that continue to support the growth and development of our Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences. On behalf of the staff and students of the faculty, I also express our heartfelt gratitude to our partners and supporters, including the Central Bank of Nigeria, Femtech, Yusuf Olaolu Ali San, the Kuliyan Geri of UNILORN Emirate, the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, our faculty, alumni, and many others whose generous contributions have made this conference possible. As part of our commitment to complement management efforts, the faculty hopes to transform its learning centers into smart classrooms with support received for this conference. We also seek further support towards the provision of modern studios, laboratories, classrooms, professorial suites, lecture theaters, and a faculty bus to enhance teaching, learning, and fieldwork experiences. The presence of our Vice Chancellor, members of university management, service chiefs, government officials, royal fathers, scholars, media executives, professionals, staff, and students underscores the significance of this conference. It reflects our collective commitment to addressing technological disruption while preserving human values, creativity, ethics, and social responsibility. As we commence this important intellectual engagement, I encourage all participants to actively contribute to discussions, exchange ideas freely, build meaningful collaborations, and help shape the future of communication, information sciences, and digital economy. On behalf of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, University of UNILORN, and our esteemed RUDN University, I warmly welcome you all and wish you a productive and impactful and a memorable conference experience. Thank you very much for your support and thank you for your presence. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that was the host of this program, the Dean of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences. And so I believe we can do better than that for her. And just before we listen to the chief host, the Vice Chancellor, I'd like to quickly let us know that this program is being aired, by the new media of the university and also the university radio and television stations. And of course, this is being transmitted internationally. And so we'd like to appreciate and welcome those who joined us virtually. Our lead paper presenter 1 from the School of Computing, University of Utara, Malaysia, Sintok Kedah in Malaysia, Professor Shahidi bin Hassan. Please let's put our hands together for him. And also with us virtually, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as our lead paper presenter 2, we have the President and Chairman of Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Ike Neliaku, FNIPR. And we have a co-host from the University of, from RUDN University, in Russian Federation, Professor Barabash Victor Vladimirovich. That's the Dean, Faculty of Philology in RUDN University. You're welcome. I'd like to recognize the presence of our former Dean and the Faculty, Professor Mejabi. Professor Mejabi, you're welcome. You're most welcome. I can see Professor Idowu, also the Adeto Idowu. You're also very much welcome, huh? I recognize your being here. The pupils we have here, we have the Aderoju International College, Ilorin, led here today by Mr. Charles. You're welcome. We also have UNILORN Secondary School, led here today by Mr. Abdul Jaye Siddiq. You're most welcome. We have from St. Anthony Senior Secondary School, led by Mr. Abubakar BN and Ayodele Femi Johnny. You're welcome, sirs. We have the Dean Student Affairs, Kwara State University, Malete, Professor Suleiman Shehu Adua. You're welcome, sir. Welcoming also Haji Akikelomo Amasa, retired Permanent Secretary in this state. You're most welcome, madam. Where are you seated, ma'am? You're welcome, ma'am. We have the chairman, Modaike Progressive Union, Ilorin branch, Mr. Kende Kayode. Sir, you're most welcome. The chairman is here with his entourage. Please, can you please raise your hand, wave your hand, wherever you are. You're most welcome, sirs. And so also we have the Government Day Secondary School Tanke pupils, led here by Mr. Adegbite Adegbola. You're welcome. We have our former director in NCH, Femi Ibrahim. You're most welcome, sir. And the representative of the Kwara State Controller of Corrections, Assistant Controller of Corrections, Mr. Kayode Abdulhamid Raji. You're most welcome, sir. We have representing the General Manager NTA UNILORN, Hajia Bashirat Bola Ayantola. You're most welcome. Having mentioned that, we also have the General Manager UNILORN FM, Mr. Idris Akintola. You are very much welcome, sir. The Criterion Muslim Women in Business and Professions, we welcome all of you. Dr. H.N. Adam, Haji Olalekan Ghanea, we welcome all of you. Haji Abdullahi Ibrahim is also here in our midst. He's a fellow and live member of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria and also member Judicial Service Committee of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Alhaji, you are most welcome, sir. Welcoming also Dr. Mrs. Eme Akonde, the Director of Regulations, Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, representing the Director General of ACON, Dr. Lalekan Fadolapo. You're most welcome. We welcome the representative of the Controller of Federal Fire Service, DSF Jimo Modibo Ibrahim, and also the PRO of the service. You're most welcome. The Ilorin Women Association will welcome you. Professor Isiaka Zuba Leagon, the Dean Faculty of Information and Communication Technology, Kwara State University. You're most welcome, Prof. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we told you, this is a big event for us at the University of Ilorin, talking the 4th Biennial International Conference, jointly put together by the University of Ilorin and RUDN University in Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we welcome the Vice Chancellor for his opening remarks. The Vice Chancellor, University of Ilorin.
I'll be abiding by the existing protocols, but I will take the liberty to make special mention of some people, the principal officers present, the keynote speaker, Dr. Bashir Adeni, MFR, the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, the representative of RUDN University, our beloved Royal Fathers, staff and students of Communication and Information Sciences, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense pleasure and a deep sense of honor that I welcome all distinguished guests, scholars, academics, researchers, industry experts, development partners, students, and participants from different parts of the world to this 4th Biennial International Conference, jointly organized by the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, University of Ilorin, and the Faculty of Philology, RUDN University. I bring warm greetings from the Vice Chancellor of our great university, Professor Wahab Olasupo Egbewole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, whose unwavering commitment to academic excellence, international collaboration, research development, and innovation continues to position the university as a leading institution of higher learning in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. This conference, whose theme is Disruptive Technologies, Human and Artificial Intelligence in the Digital Economy, therefore comes at a most auspicious time, providing scholars and professionals with a veritable platform to critically interrogate the relationship between human intelligence and artificial intelligence within the broader context of the digital economy. It is our expectation that the robust discussions research, presentations, and intellectual engagements that will characterize this conference will generate practical insights and policy-relevant recommendations capable of advancing sustainable development and responsible technological innovations globally. Permit me to specially acknowledge and appreciate the array of distinguished personalities and intellectual headliners who have honored this conference with their presence and participation. We are greatly privileged to have as our keynote speaker the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Dr. Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, DSM, FNIPR, PSC, among several other titles. His leadership and contribution to public administration and national development continue to inspire many. We are equally delighted to welcome our lead paper presenters, Professor Suhaidi bin Hassan, a renowned scholar whose expertise will undoubtedly enrich the discourse of this conference. I also warmly welcome and recognize Dr. Ike Neliaku, and other distinguished participants, discussants, and contributors whose wealth of knowledge and professional experience add immense value to this august gathering. I must particularly commend our gracious host, Professor Saudat Salah Abdubeki, for her visionary leadership, dedication, and commitment to academic advancement. I equally appreciate our co-host, Professor Barabaj Victor Vladimirovich, for sustaining this important international academic relationship and fostering cross-cultural scholarly engagement between Nigeria and Russia. Their collaborative efforts have undoubtedly of this biennial conference. Once again, I warmly welcome you to the 4th Biennial International Conference of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, as well as the Faculty of Philology. I wish all participants fruitful deliberations, productive engagements, memorable interactions, and a successful outing. It is my hope that while you are in our campus, you will take advantage of our very beautiful, harmonious scenery and enjoy events even outside of the conference. We remain grateful for your participation. It is therefore my singular honor and privilege, by the authority vested in me by my principal, the Vice Chancellor of the University of UNILORN, Professor Wahab Olasupo Egbeole, to hereby declare this 4th Biennial International Conference officially open. Thank you.
That was the chief host. You can do better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. The floor had been opened officially for the commencement of this program. We thank you for allowing this to happen. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for us to listen to the keynote speaker. And just before the keynote speaker, I'd like to invite my colleague, Amidat Oladimeji Kolawole, to read the citation of the keynote speaker.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here is a citation for the keynote speaker in person of Dr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, the Controller General of Customs, Nigeria Customs Service. Mr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi is the Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service and Council Chair of the World Customs Organization. Born on 19 January 1966, he hails from Modakeke, Ife East local government area of Osun State, Nigeria. He graduated in 1987 from the University of Ife, Ile-Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, with a Bachelor of Science degree in International Relations. He also had a postgraduate certificate in Basic Public Relations at the Nigerian Institute of Journalism, Ogba, Lagos, in 1989. He later obtained a Master of Communication Science degree from the Università della Spezia Italiana, USI, Lugano, Switzerland, in 2013, and a doctorate degree in Leadership and Security Studies from the Federal University of Lokoja in August 2025. He was enlisted into the Nigeria Customs Service as a cadet officer in 1990. Since then, he has served with distinction across various commands and capacities, including Customs Public Relations Officer, Customs Area Controller, Murtala Muhammad International Airport Command, Lagos, Commandant, Nigeria Customs Command and Staff College, Gwagwalada, Abuja, Deputy Controller General in charge of the Strategic Research and Policy Department. He was appointed the Controller General of Customs in 2023 by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. A seasoned and thoroughbred customs officer, Dr. Adeniyi, has attended numerous national and international courses, including Strategic Leadership and Management Development, World Customs Organization, Brussels, 2016. Mastering Trade Policy, Harvard University, 2015. Strategic and Crisis Communication, University of California, Los Angeles, 2012. Transformation Initiative Leadership Training, Toronto, Canada, 2012. Strategic Communication, Columbia University, New York, 2009. On the international stage, he has served as WCO Vice Chair for the West and Central Africa region and currently serves as the chairperson of the WCO Council. He has represented Nigeria and the service in various high-level international engagements, including the WCO Council meetings, Policy Commission sessions, and Director General of Customs conferences. Over the years, the CGC's dedication, integrity, and professionalism have earned him numerous honors and commendations. These include the National Honor of Member of the Federal Republic, MFR, conferred in 2022, the Distinguished Service Medal, Gold category, the Past Staff Course Award, and several service recognitions such as CGC Commendation for Improved Standards in the Conduct of Command and Staff Courses, NCCSC, Gwagwalada, June 2020. CGC Commendation for Developing and Implementing the COVID-19 Response Plan for NCCSC, Gwagwalada, May 2020. CGC Award for the seizure of $8,065,612 at Murtala Muhammad International Airport, January 2020. Large College Crest Award for Excellence in Service as Deputy Commandant, NCCSC, December 2019. WC Award of Excellence as Project Team Leader, Sécurité par Collaboration, Regional Security Project, January 2018. Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR Presidential Award, April 2018. Joint winner, Burson Marstella Award for Best Research Project, Reputation Management in Nigeria Customs Service, November 2013. Best Customs Public Relations Officer from 2004 to 2007. The CGC is a professional member of the International Public Relations Association and a fellow and former vice president of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. he is happily married, blessed with children, and enjoys adventure, farming, soccer, and table tennis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with great honor and anticipation, please rise as we welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi.
Thank you very much. Please, you may be seated. No, we can't. Let it get back. Get it back soon. Thank you very much. Our respected Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Wahab Egbewole, SAN, ably represented today by the DVC Research, Innovation and Technology, Professor Mukhtar Chwaye, all the DVCs here present, principal officers of the university, our hosts, the faculty, the dean of the faculty, all distinguished officers of the faculty, very distinguished principal officers, various faculties and departments in the University of Ilorin, my colleagues from various agencies of government, our revered fathers, traditional rulers. I was very surprised that even our KBCs would be interested in the topic artificial intelligence because they are custodians of traditional intelligence. But it was very good to even see KBC Afolabi singing the University of Ilorin anthem very, very passionately. Our colleagues from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, having done that kind of protocol expected of a PR practitioner, Mr. Vice Chancellor, allow me to just do some few very, very special recognition here because of the overwhelming nature of my emotions today. First, I'd like to specially recognize Professor Rauf of the Department of Mathematics. And the reason is very simple. It was Prof's inaugural lecture that brought me here for the first time. And when I came here to attend that inaugural lecture, I was seated somewhere around there in the audience. Today, I'm back at the podium delivering a keynote address. Alhamdulillah. Secondly, I'd like to specially recognize and welcome those guests, the students who are there from various schools that have been mentioned. Your introduction was not complete because I know the kind of inspiration, the kind of motivation that can drive your ambition with this kind of program that you're attending today. When I was a young boy growing in Modakeke, anytime there is a program like this, even when I don't know where they are saying, I go to those halls, I go to those events, and I draw inspiration, believing that one day I might be that MC who is speaking very big English, or the Vice Chancellor who is coming to read the address, or even the keynote speaker. I pray that today would be a reference point for something good in your life. Let me also specially recognize all the students of the Faculty of Communication and other faculties that have come in very big numbers to listen to this lecture. You know, somebody who read in Ife and visits the campus regularly, when you drive into University of Ilorin, you can't but love the ambience of the university. Looks so very, very beautiful. And the VC actually told me something today that everybody looks very, very physically fit. That the VC encourages them to walk the staircase down, though I later discovered that the lift cannot take more than 6 people at a time. And it's a very, long distance from the university gates anyway. So in these days of high prices of fuel, fewer numbers of vehicles, OAU is closed now because of transportation crisis. I'm happy that students of University of UNILORN are really rising up to the challenge. They all look physically fit. They look very, very happy. Well, if I say great UI of UNILORN, so they call it great UNILORNites. I don't want to import any culture into this place, but I think you are cool with yourself. Please, a big round of applause to yourself. And as I recognize you, the Yorubas, they say, Ilelati Keshorude. I must also specially recognize those of my own, members of the Modakeke Progressive Union, who came out in large numbers. You can see the enthusiasm. I have not even finished calling their name. They're already up. When they called the chairman, all of them stood up. I don't know how many chairmen we have amongst them. But I can really appreciate you, and I thank you so much for the solidarity. Having recognized those at home, let me also, please sit down. Let me also specially recognize my home, my own, because the real inner home is where we all come out from. And that is my wife, the president of the Customs Officers' Wives Association. She's not here, Mrs. Tikeloma Adeniyi, but she kept sending me a message that, have you seen one of our members here? I say, oh, you have a member? I say, of course, and that she's one of the organizers, Dr. Balogun of the Faculty of Communication Science. Thank you so very much. And as I recognize her, I also want to recognize all beautiful women who intend to get married to customs officers in the future, and they will be members of COA. We welcome you to the fold. Lastly, let me recognize other government agencies who have been with me yesterday since I came, from immigration, from civil defense, from police. They've been here, and I think this underscores the importance of the work that these gentlemen do. I must especially recognize General Nicholas Rume, the commander of the 22 artillery brigades, armored brigades. Thank you very much. He did not just meet me here. He was our chief instructor at our training college while I was commandant, and the working relationship has, been very warm ever since then. And that leads me to how I introduce this. We know that the security situation has been a little bit precarious over the last 2 years or thereabouts. And the situation around Kwara axis has not been an exception. We hear of things that happen around the Kanji, around Kayama and Chikanda borders, and of course the banditry around the Kogi axis. So it is our military that are out there in the front, laying there their lives, and we pray that God will continue to give you the strength to bear this burden. If I had not arrived in Ilorin yesterday, most probably I would not have come for this lecture. Overnight this morning, I got a disturbing news that Lukarawa terrorists, our officers came under attack at about 3 a.m. today. And because of the situation, apart from the military, it is only the customs that has been the last set of shield around Bagudo in Kebbi State. This morning, 2 officers of the customs paid the supreme sacrifice in warding off the threats from the Lukarawa terrorists. I share a moment with them, and I pray that God will give the families of these fallen officers the grace to bear this loss. And we pray that God will take us through this dark period and grant us peace. It's an academic environment, and okay. I'm told to especially recognize the representative of the Kwara State's governor. Thank you very much for coming. The representative of the VC has also directed that we obtain a minute of silence for the repose of the soul of those 2 officers, ASC-1 Bamiloye and DSC Dong, who paid the supreme sacrifice early this morning. May their soul rest in peace. Thank you very much. You may sit down. This is, I need this script. Go back completely. No, I need to go back to this. All right, thank you very much. Permit me to begin somewhere unexpected. In April 2023, well, I have a quick outline. If I can go back to that, I will start with some prologue and then begin to look at the human movement in the technology age and the introduction. We will discuss the reality of disruption and how this affects all of us. We have a discourse on human intelligence and artificial intelligence partnership. I tried to explain that we should not see this as rivalry. And I give example of customs as a live example of how this transformation has evolved over the years. Then we talk about the human economy, the skills, the works, and the future of talents. Then I brought in the issue of ethics, trust, and the responsibility of intelligence. Because we are in the university, we talk about how the university can serve as a strategic partner. And also, within the larger framework of the opportunity that we have in the African digital space, we will look at how we can situate artificial intelligence. And I'll draw some conclusions which, of course, we hope that you agree with me. But I need not worry because we are in a university environment anyway. When you are in a university environment, I remember the inaugural lecture of Prof. It went on and on because it's on an esoteric topic of mathematics. Only very few of us understood what he was saying. But of course, we know that is always what happens in the university environment. But there's a positive side to it. The positive side to it is that the university environment has the best set of people that are very, very polite and who respects every position that you take. So, you already got my point. So at every point in time, you see them clapping even when they just want to show that they are polite. But the good thing about the clapping is that it also serves as a wake-up call for those who are sleeping so that they will wake up. So at any point you see people sleeping around, please kindly clap for me and wake them up. So in April 2023, there was a song that was posted on major streaming platforms, and this particular song raked millions of streams in just one day because people who listened to it believed that they were hearing a new release from a global pop star. And within the same week, the record label issued takedown notices and the song was pulled down. The vocals had been generated by an AI system. A few weeks earlier, the photographs of Pope Francis had gone viral. I'm very sure so many of us possibly saw that picture. The pontiff was portrayed as striding through Rome in a long white Balenciaga puffer jacket until we learned later that the images had been generated by a young construction worker in Chicago using a tool that they call Midjourney. So you can imagine Pope Francis being portrayed wearing a Balenciaga jacket. But then closer to us in our classrooms, we have now experienced AI systems that can draft essays, legal briefs, and cover letters in minutes. And sometimes they are good enough to pass any grade, but sometimes confidently wrongs in ways only an expert can detect. So our universities are therefore scrambling to update plagiarism rules, while softwares companies market AI detectors, they are themselves powered by AI. We have also seen the darker side of this development. 2 years ago, a finance officer in a British engineering firm called Harup in Hong Kong was on a video call. He joined that call with what he believed was his own chief finance officer and some other colleagues. He saw their faces, he heard their voices, so he recognized them as his colleagues. And during that interaction, he made a transfer totaling $25.6 million. Every person that was on that call, except him, was an artificial intelligence deep fake. These tools no longer live in research laboratories. They live in our group chats, in our lecture halls, in our courtrooms, and in our bank accounts. And just before we think that AI is only good for mischief, sometimes we could also see AI manifesting in some noble objectives, like it did in 2024, when that year Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded partly to a team at DeepMind, whose AI system, the AlphaFold, solved a 50-year-old scientific puzzle of how proteins fold, accelerating drug discovery and vaccine design. So technology is neither our friend nor our foe. The choices we make with it decide which side of the ledger we may end up with. A fair question may now be asked, and of course, I'm sure these questions may have been agitating your minds. It is understandable if Professor Raouf comes up here and deliver an inaugural lecture in mathematics. But waiting concerns CG with AI. What is my business with viral songs? What do I need to bother about AI written essays or videos that are based on deep fake? So permit me to make that connection very, very plain. The same family of technology is already reshaping how customs operations, how our borders, how it works. Artificial intelligence-driven risk engines can read thousands of cargo declarations in seconds. And while doing that, it can flag those few ones that fit the profile of undervaluation or counterfeit goods. Image analysis algorithms can help officers read non-intrusive inspection scans far more quickly than our human eye can do. The same recommendation logic a streaming platform used to suggest your next film is now being adapted to suggest the next container an officer should examine. If you take the example of the US, where they have now deployed AI-assisted scanners at the Mexico borders. In China, an intelligent customs inspection system can read container scans at industrial speed. And here at home, let's bring it further to Nigeria. In 2024, Nigeria Customs Service launched a new application that we call Bodogu, our indigenous unified customs management system. And within the first 8 months of this system alone collected over 230 billion naira. Thank you, in case some people are sleeping. And it helps us to increase cargo clearance for compliant traders, and it reduced it by 8 hours. The other side of the ledger is no less real. When you have poorly generated system, it can be exploited at a scale where criminals find loopholes in a code rather than in a physical fence that you might have. And this is why we are all here today. So I therefore thank you very much for having me. When I first started, I must confess that though I have stood before the World Customs Organization Council in Brussels, possibly about this size before, but I always felt less nervous than I have been this morning. Lecture halls like this, they have that effect on you when you are on the podium. The students that we have here, the scholars that we have here, and those that we have in Russia and some other places are the people who will, in a very short time, be running the systems that I will be talking about. This means that whatever I say here today is being audited in real time by our future regulators, by our future engineers, by our future controllers generals, our future ministers. I would therefore try to be worth the audits that they are going to conduct. But then I'm genuinely glad. There is a particular pleasure in arriving at a campus that has for decades sent its graduates into every corner of the Nigerian public and professional life. And to do so in the company of our partner university, the RUDN University, whose own academic tradition stretches back further than yours here in UNILORN. So partnerships of this kind across continents, across languages, across institutional cultures are exactly the condition in which serious thinking about the future of technology can take place. So before I say anything, my thanks to the Vice Chancellor, to the faculty, to our visiting colleagues, and to the students who showed up on what I am told is meant to be a very busy day. And now to the topic. We sometimes speak about disruptive technology, artificial intelligence, and the digital economy as though these are matters that belongs only to the Silicon Valley, or those that belongs to those very intelligent students in Shenzhen in China, or the boardrooms of multinational technology firms with their logos that we only see in advertisements. The truth is that those forces of artificial intelligence, they now shape how a yam farmer in Kwara accesses markets through our phone, how a small exporter in Lagos clears goods at our ports, how a parent in Ibadan pays a school fees in 3 taps, and how a student inside this hall learns, works, and competes for opportunity. The digital age did not arrive with a fanfare. It walked quietly into our lives through small daily decisions that we now take for granted. So early in this lecture, let me put my proposition very, very clearly, while you are still very, very polite to listen to me. The digital age is, in the end, a human story. The real test of our generation is not how powerful all of these machines are or what they have become. It is indeed how wisely our societies choose to use them. And this is why universities that shape how a generation thinks about knowledge, ethics, and evidence sits at the very center of this transformation, whether the youth universities realizes it or not. So this is the hard quote for us to take away from this lecture. This age, at the end of our discussion, is a human story. And the real test of our generation is not how powerful our machines becomes, but how wisely our society chooses to use them. Let's ground this particular reality, what has happened, the developments, in some numbers that are very close to us. According to Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBBS, electronic payment transactions in our country reached 1.07 quadrillion in 2024, which is equivalent of about 702.6 billion US dollars at the closing exchange rates in 2024. But by the following quarter, the first quarter in 2025, the NIBSS instant payment alone had moved 285 trillion in 3 months, and that is a 25% increase on the same period for 2024. African Lender has now recognized the Nigerian instant payment system as the first fully matured instant payment system on the African continent. And behind those statistics is a very quiet revolution. Within 14 years, Nigeria has moved from being a predominantly cash-based economy to one in which a mobile phone has become a bank, a marketplace, and a service window, all of them rolled in one. And this is the same pattern everywhere in the world. The statistics and the numbers may change, but the trend is the same. UNCTAD, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, reports that business to business, B2B, and business to consumer, B2C, e-commerce rose from $17 trillion in 2016 to $27 trillion in 2022 across 43 countries, representing about 3/4 of the global gross domestic product. And the shipment of smartphones alone, it's 1.2 billion units in 2023. So Internet of Things devices are projected to grow further from 16 billion in 2023 to 39 billion by 2029. 5G mobile coverage is expected to rise from 25% of the world's population 4 years ago to 85% in the next 2 years. So the global digital economy is now the mainstream and is no longer a frontier. So we can see the same shift in sectors that are far from technology. So I give the examples of health, where we have telemedicine platform, which allow consultations across distance. I'm sure we've all heard about that. In agriculture, simple SMS and app-based services deliver price and weather information to farmers who used to depend on ASAs, meaning that all those people that will give money to rainmakers, either to hold the rain or to bring the rains, some of those people, unfortunately, may go out of business because of the way we now, because of the because of the progress that we do in artificial intelligence. And in transport and delivery, algorithms match riders to customers in real time at speeds that the old dispatcher's clipboard could never match. And none of those innovations that I have mentioned arrived at our doorsteps with the word disruption stamped on them. And yet, together, collectively, they have changed the country's expectations of speed, of transparency, and of convenience. We now can sit down somewhere in UNILORN and contact a food vendor around Tanke, and you make your payments on phone, and then the food is put with the rider, and then they dispatch it, and then it arrives in your door. You know, nobody announced that this has started. You know, referral, somebody does it next to you, and then you say, oh, I can order food like this, and then it catches on. So for us in customs, it is the same logic. Our risk engines now decide which container to inspect. Electronic manifests arrive before the ship berths, and non-intrusive inspections, our scanners, can allow our officers to see inside cargo without breaking a single seal. So for the trader, the border is increasingly a digital interface that must be navigated long before the truck even reaches the physical checkpoint, either in Seme, in Idiroko, or in Chikanda. So this disruption that we are talking about, therefore, is the environment that we are already living in, and it is not an event that we are expecting to come. So the only question for us is, are we going to be passive consumers of this change, or are we going to be an active shaper of the direction in which this change is going? Let's talk about human intelligence and artificial intelligence partnership, because that's the way I choose to see them, and not as a rivalry. When we have a number of public debates, they often frame AI as a competitor to human beings. That framing is misleading and in many cases very unhelpful. At the core of this debate is artificial intelligence. It's a family of statistical and computational techniques that can recognize patterns, that can generate content, and that can make predictions at scale. And it can do this in seconds, what would take a human analyst a number of days to do. But artificial intelligence remains a tool. It operates on correlation, not on conscience. It handles tokens, not values. It processes information, but it does not understand the meaning the way a human mind does. And I will give practical examples that we can all relate with. As customs officers, you can relate with those examples. And as scholars, professors, and students, teachers, I am sure you will also be able to relate those examples. But before I do that, let me talk about what McKinsey Global Institute in 2023 study on the economic potentials of generative AI estimated that current technologies could automate work activities that today occupy 60 to 70% of the time employees spend at work. So the estimates from McKinsey is that some of the times that we spend when we come to work, 60-70% of them can be automated. The same study estimated that technology could add to the equivalent of 2.6 trillion to 4.4 trillion US dollars in value to the global economy each year, and could lift annual labor productivity growth by between 0.5% to 3.4% between 2023 and 2040, depending on the rate of adoption. So these are extraordinary numbers, and also importantly, they are conditional numbers that will materialize only when institutions like ours redesign our work so that machines handle the repetitive elements and the human beings concentrate on the task that demand judgment, creativity, and interpersonal skill. So it will be a continuous journey of complementarity for us to derive the best advantage and benefits out of this development that we are doing. Now, let me now proceed to the examples, considering that since we are here in the university, an AI system can mark multiple choice paper in seconds. It can suggest a reading list. It can give a student instant feedback on a draft. And it can translate English textbooks into Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Fufude, or any language by tomorrow morning. If we give it in the evening, by the morning, it is done. But there's a caveat. This system cannot replace the lecturer who notices that when a quiet student in the third row or in the fourth row is lost. AI cannot do that. Well, the example I was going to say was that AI cannot detect those that are sleeping, and you have helped me wake them up by clapping. So it cannot, when a quiet student in the third row is lost, it cannot remember a local example that turns memorization into sight and who carries the moral weight of grading another human being's effort. So my summary of this is right here. The machines handles the mechanics. The teacher, the professors, the scholars, the human carries the meaning. The same logic applies to us in public administration. And I was going to give the examples of customs. An AI system can scan millions of declarations and flag those ones that look suspicious and fraudulent. It can predict which container is likely going to carry counterfeit medicine based on their origin, on their roots, on weights, or on the history of the trader. But human officers must still decide which of the leads that this machine is giving him to follow. He will decide which of them to pursue. He will have to decide how to interpret signals that seems conflicting and how to act fairly when within the law and within the very limited resources. So AI amplifies human intelligence when it is guided by a clear purpose and strong ethics. Without that guidance, it simply amplifies confusion or error at very big scale. So I have the summary here. So the partnership between the average customs officer or a public servant anywhere is not the rivalry between the human and artificial intelligence. It is where the real value lies. So let me give further examples in customs because that is an area that I know so well. Customs administrations like NCS, we sit at the convergence of trade, security, and revenue. We are among the oldest state institutions on the continent. For example, customs in Nigeria started in 1891. Yet we are now in the front line of digital transformation. The WCO, which alhamdulillah I currently serve as the chairperson, has long encouraged member administrations to move from paper-based controls to systems built on risk management, on data analytics, and on coordinated border management. In Nigeria, the practical phase of that transition is the Bodogu that I mentioned before, which was built and deployed by the service in the last 2 years. The National Single Window Initiative, which will allow traders to submit information once for every regulatory agencies at the border, and integration of our risk engine outputs with intelligence from police, NDLA, and other agencies. And across our region, sister administrations are upgrading their Asekuda world platforms. They are integrating customs data with domestic tax system, and they are banking networks through the ECOWAS SIGMAT framework. But let me give you a practitioner's example. Now let's imagine a 40-footer container declared as consumer electronics arriving from a shipment that is a shipment hub that is known for narcotics trafficking, say a place like Colombia. And it is consigned to a trader whose all his previous declarations have been internally inconsistent. So when you have a modern customs risk engine, it brings those data points together in seconds, and it will raise a flag, and it will warn and alert the officer even before the ship arrives. Technology makes that kind of targeting possible. But it is the human leadership that decides which of those indicators matters to them and how to respond when a red flag turns out to be a false alarm, and how to balance the legitimate traders' need for speed within the country's need for control. So those who are legitimate, who are doing legitimate business, they want their containers to be released in good time, but we have to control those that are bad. And there will be an unending debate between those two groups of people. So it is technology that delivers the candidate or the candidates, but it is the officer behind the machine, it is the leadership of the customs that will deliver the verdict. So digital tools have also begun to strengthen integrity. When duty payments move through electronic channels rather than cash, when officers' decisions are lodged in auditable system rather than negotiated at the roadside, and when departmental performance is measured against real-time dashboards rather than self-reported returns, opportunities for petty corruption will shrink and accountability becomes concrete. Yet, those systems will not enforce themselves. They must be backed by a culture that rewards professionalism and sanction abuse. So, why technology change processes? It is leadership and expertise that will continue to deliver results. Let's now bring this whole conversation to human economy, the skills that we need at work, and what will become the future of talents. Because the fear that we always have is that AI will come and it will replace talents. For the students and early career professionals in this hall, the most immediate question is what all of this will mean for job and careers. Research that has been done suggests that AI and automation could add between 0.5 to 3.4 percentage points to productivity growth. But those gains will be uneven across sectors and across occupations. So for this, analysts often divide the tasks that we do into three categories. The first covers routine physical and cognitive work, which is easier to automate. And you can give examples of stock taking, ledger reconciliation, basic data entry, and document review that is done regularly. But there is a second one that requires complex problem solving, creativity, and design thinking. So, for example, the work of an architect, the work of a research scientist, a product designer, or a litigator who must build a case from fragments. That one requires something more than AI. There is even a third one that covers tasks that depend on social and emotional intelligence, negotiation, leadership, care, persuasion, or the work of a teacher, or a nurse, or a community organizer. So the digital economy, what we have seen, would merge the first category. Everything that we do in the first category can be merged by and be performed by some machines that are developed by AI, but the second cannot be done like that. So it will only increase the demand for those in the second and the third category. So this one has direct implication for curriculum design. So a graduate's long-term competitiveness will depend less on memorizing content that an artificial intelligence can retrieve within a matter of seconds. It will now depend more on the ability to ask the right questions, to evaluate sources, to connect concepts across fields, and work productively alongside intelligence systems. It calls for a more project-based learning, more exposure of real data sets and real institutional problems, and more deliberate training in ethics, in communication. Congratulations to the Faculty of Communication, because your work will still be in demand, and it will also call for teamwork. It calls for graduates who can sit in a room with a chief executive, with a policy maker, with a software engineer, with a minister, with a controller general, and relate effortlessly with them. The same logic applies to the institutions that you are going to work with in the future. Modern customs management, for example, will require officers who can interpret a data dashboard, that can understand the basic principles of risk modeling and communicate clearly with both the trader and the gates and the analysts at the desk. It will require IT specialists who can secure the systems against intrusions and threats, analysts who can translate patterns into decisions, and managers who can steward change without breaking the morale of the staff. And this is why customs has placed increasing emphasis on joint training programs, attachments, and research collaborations with universities. The human economy of skill is now as strategic as any of the port equipment that we are using. So every powerful technology carries risk alongside the opportunities. And the disruptive digital tools of our days are no exemption. We are familiar with the concerns, particularly for data privacy, cybersecurity breaches, deep fakes, and the widening inequality between those who can advance tools and those who cannot. And I also have numbers of people, roughly 1 in 3 human beings on the planet, who still remain offline, and that fewer ones in 1/3 of our developing countries have national artificial intelligence AI strategy. So it's a very huge digital divide, and it is not going to close no matter what we think. So this is an environmental cost that is becoming impossible to ignore. The ICT sector emitted between 0.69 and 1.6 gigatons of carbon dioxide equivalent in 2020, accounting for between 1.5 and 3.2% of global greenhouse gas emission. Each of these smartphones that we are holding in our hands requires about 70 kilograms of raw materials from production to disposal. A 2-kilogram laptop, the small ones that we carry, will require 800 kilograms of raw materials in its production. And only a quarter of digital wastes is formally collected globally. And the figure for our developing economy is even much closer to 7.5%. So the technology that promised to lift our economies are also the same technology that is impacting our environment. And the bill for that is increasingly being settled in countries that do not benefit most from the gains. That is from the developing economy. So these risks share a common thread. Without clear ethical direction, digital systems amplify the existing weaknesses of the institutions that deploy them. A system trained on biased data will produce systematically unfair outcomes, even if no individual designer intended the discrimination. A poorly secured system exposes millions of citizens to identify theft in a single breach. A data-hungry business model erodes privacy in ways that are hard to reverse and even harder to litigate. So trust in this digital environment becomes the critical currency of the of the digital economy. So if citizens do not trust their data, if citizens do not trust that their data will be protected, that automated decisions can be explained and contested, and the digital systems will be available where needed. It will stall the adoption process. And this is an area where African institutions can lead and simply not follow. We can draw our own legal principles, our own communal ethics, and our lived experience to shape frameworks for responsible AI and digital governance that fits the local realities of our time rather than importing models wholesale from elsewhere. The Nigerian Data Protection Act of 2023 is a very good step in that direction. The next step would be for us to ensure that every technology we deploy in the public sector, from customs risk engines to school environment systems to electronic biometrics, is built on transparent rules, audited regularly, and accountable to the citizens it serves. Do not let me end this lecture without giving some challenges to our universities, because I see us as strategic partners from the process of building knowledge to that of making impact. So it brings me to the central role of institutions like yours and the RUDN University. Universities are not observers of digital transformation, but they are architects of it. You generate the ideas, the evidence, and the talent on which both the public and private sectors depend. In an age of rapid change, your ability to connect fundamental theory with applied problem solving is more critical than ever before. There is immense scope for deep collaboration between academia and the rest of our communities. And let me give the examples of customs and trade alone. We need rigorous research on how digital platforms change compliance behavior, how AI can improve risk targeting without entrenching bias, and how communication strategies can build public trust in digital reform, and how cross-border data flows can be governed in ways that balance security with the need to respect privacy. These are very rich research questions for communication scholars, for computer scientists, for lawyers, for economists, and other practitioners. For us, in customs and other regulatory bodies, real operational problems like the detection of undervaluation, the mapping of illicit supply chains, the modeling of trade behavior can become topics of thesis, can become laboratory projects, and they can become subjects of joint innovation challenges. For the universities, insights developed in our classrooms and project laboratories can be tested and refined in the real environments of our ports, airports, and border stations, digital platforms, and public information campaigns. The future will belong to institutions that can connect knowledge with action. And I am therefore throwing a call to action today. I am extending a concrete invitation on behalf of the service to the University of UNILORN and RUDN University and any other university or researcher in this hall that wishes to design a joint research program, a fellowship, or a long-term partnership with us. Africa must enter these conversations with unique strengths and serious constraints. The continent has the world's youngest population, with a median age of about 19. Mobile connectivity is expanding rapidly, and entrepreneurial ecosystems in cities from Lagos to Nairobi, Dakar, and Kigali now produces technology firms of genuine global standing. African Development Bank Regional Outlook consistently identify digitalization as one of the central levers for accelerating structural transformation if it is matched by investments in infrastructure, in skills, and in governance. At the level of policy, the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreements, which has been operational since 5 years ago, with its digital trade protocol adopted in February 2024, is creating a continental framework for digital trade that previous generations of African policymakers could not imagine. The AU's digital transformation strategy targets the creation of a single digital market in the next 4 years. So to leapfrog this, ADB assigned a $973 million grant agreement with AU to drive digital market development across the continent. So these are the rails on which the next generation of African enterprise will run. They are not going to run or be driven on abstract documents. But African success will not come from importing turnkey solutions from elsewhere. It will come from developing locally relevant applications rooted in our own languages, in our own legal systems, our own markets, and our governance realities, powered by the human capital that our universities are cultivating. This means that platforms designed for low-cost devices that are very cheap, and that allows for intermittent connectivity, because data is still a problem for us. So our devices must be those that are cheap and those that can be driven with intermittent connectivity. It means AI systems train on African data and contexts, not on data that treat us as exemption rather than the rule. It will also mean regulatory institutions strong enough to protect citizens while still enabling innovation. If we get this right, and I hope we do, disruptive technology will not be something that simply happens to Africa. It will be a field in which Africa contributes original ideas, original companies, and original governance models to the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, including those that are awake and those who might be taking a nap, as we reflect on disruptive technology and the role of human and artificial intelligence in the digital economy, it is worth remembering that technology is neutral. The same platform that can spread knowledge can also spread misinformation. The same algorithm that can detect fraud can also entrench bias. The same digital tools that can expand opportunity can deepen exclusion when you deploy them without care. What is the decisive factor? It is not the sophistication of the code that is deployed. It is the character and the competence of the people and the institutions that use it. As lecturers, you will influence how the next generation think about knowledge and responsibility. But also as students, you will carry these tools into boardrooms in the next few years with knowledge and responsibility. You will carry them into boardrooms, into laboratory, into newsrooms, into startups when you graduate, and into public agencies. And as partners in government and industries, we all collectively have a duty to ensure that the system serves the people and not the other way around. The future of digital economy in Nigeria and across Africa will not be written by artificial intelligence alone. It will be shaped by human intelligence that is willing to lead, that is willing to ask difficult questions, that is willing to uphold ethical standards, and that is willing to invest in skills and to build institutions that is capable of turning disruptions into inclusive progress. My invitation to all of you today is to see yourself not as spectators of the technological change, but as authors or contributors to to the next chapter in human story. And if we combine the best of human judgments with the power of AI, grounded in ethics and guided by commitment to the public good, then disruptive technology will not be a threat to fear. It will be a set of tools that we can trust to build a more secure, a more prosperous, and a more just society. And in your tradition, I want to thank you all for listening and invite you to wake up those that are sleeping. Thank you very much.
That was a wonderful one by the Controller General of Customs Service. Can we give him a very resounding round of applause? Elucidating, all-encompassing, and at least eye-opening for everyone. What? Yeah, we move on. Okay, I hand over. I am just an ad hoc, just on ad hoc service when our compere is not around. I'm happy to have him back to continue without any break in transmission. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that our keynote speaker has been able to do justice to the topic that he was given to speak on. Made it so simple that every one of us here in the auditorium, even the pupils, secondary school pupils, could understand. He ensured also that the made use of precision for those, the journalists amongst us. There's something we call precision journalism, with all of those things that he showed us, so that we can easily recollect what he's spoken about. He made it so simple, clear, and of course, interesting for us to understand. And of course, the examples he gave also, they are relatable examples that we can easily connect with. And you, having said this, I think it deserves another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Thank you for this. We really appreciate you. We know you have comments, you have questions and all of that. There will be time for us to entertain that. But then, meanwhile, I'd like to quickly recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Kwara State Governor in our midst, and the Chairman Nigeria Governors Forum, Malam Abdurrahman Abdurazak, is ably represented by Alhaji Sahad Salahuddin, FNIPR. Alhaji Salahuddin, you're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. And we also have the Director Akon, ably representing the Director General, you're also very much welcome. We appreciate your being here today. In the entourage of His Excellency, we have Alhaji Abdulrazak Jida, our Special Advisor on Special Duty to His Excellency. You're most welcome, Alhaji. And so also we have the Special Advisor Media to the Governor, Alhaji Bashir Adigu. Sir, you're most welcome. We'll welcome also Engineer Abdurrahman Giwa. You're most welcome, sirs. Please, another round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen. And just before we move to the goodwill messages and also other comments that we might have, we have a student from the Performing and Film Arts Department of the university. Time for them to entertain us in the next couple of minutes. You're most welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ibrahim Mao from the Department of Performing and Film Arts Theatre, University of UNILORN, Kwara State. We are here to perform, me and my group, about disruptive technology, human and artificial intelligence in our world. Many years ago, an African-American film released a film titled The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is exactly the situation facing the disruptive technology, human and artificial intelligence in our world today. So I would like to show you the different slides of artificial intelligence in our world today. Please kindly sit, relax, and learn. Thank you.
That Dr. Akinola, what does he think he is? How dare he? Embarrass me in front of my classmates just because I could not do my presentation well. Imagine calling me a fool. You should not worry. I will deal with him.
Dr. Akinola, I have to summon you because of the recent controversial issue about your videos going viral. I was so stuck since when I've seen it. What's happening? I saw your video of you molesting one of our students. How can it be? Please, do you have anything to say about this?
Mr. Mike, you know me very well. I own a church. I'm a minister. How am I supposed to paint myself in that image in the front of my audience? It is not me, Mr. Mike.
Serious. But what could have been the cause of this? It's not wanting to sabotage your name or what?
Mr. Mike, all I can say, Koyemi. But God will see me through, Mr. Mike.
This is serious. Well, I have a meeting somewhere, so I'll get back to you. Yeah.
I also need to pray about this.
Please, you need to pray.
Today's class just get a CB. Me, I'm not sure I go come to class. 8 a.m. class. 8 to 12 for that like this. I hate you. Hey, wait. Have you seen this Dr. Akiola's video? He was molesting one of our classmates. Have you seen it? That video, that man is a fool. You need to see where he was touching. That man is. Let me show you. We are not going to accept this, so we must protest. Everybody must know about it. Yes. We are going to protest. Let me show you the video. Yes. That man is. Let me show you the video. Let me show you the video. This man bad though. That man child. We are not going to accept it. We are not going to accept it. What's going on?
What's going on? I've been hearing your shouts. What's the problem?
Lecturer like that. Dr. Akinola, he was molesting our classmates.
Molesting?
What's all this rubbish?
You guys should calm down. Don't you see that this is fake?
How? Fake?
This is a different technology. You people should calm down. Look at the video very well. Don't you see that their shadow is not visible? Look at it very well.
I said it. That man is a very very good man. Becoming moral. I know.
People should know that stuff like this do happen, eh? This man is a very professional man. You guys should go and right your wrong, so let's go.
Thank you. My phone.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I am close to the. Yeah, I am close to the office of the head of the department now. Yeah. Okay. Where?
Sir,
You see.
sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Sorry, please. I will get back to you. Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, good afternoon.
I really checked for you in your office, but I could not find you. I would like to submit my project.
Your project? Oh, well, I'm quite busy now, but let me just check.
What? Sir, what is that?
What is all this? Wait, do you think you are in secondary school or what?
Sir.
For 3 unit course,
Oga,
3 pages and 25 references.
it's not
How
like...
come? How did you get all these things?
Okay. Take it is a project, right?
Yes, sir.
Defend this.
Hey, Jesus. Oga,
Can you just defend this?
hey, Oga. Oga, you don't understand.
Understand what?
Oga,
Madam.
the thing is that I've always been relying on my ChatGPT rise for my 100 level. It's so difficult for me to even do the find it myself.
I am so disappointed in you.
Oga, I'm sorry.
How can you just bank on AI just like that? I am not disputing the fact that AI is not good, but human intelligence, you should be wise enough to balance things. You can use AI, but use your own intelligence, your own IQ. Don't you have anything upstairs?
I'm sorry, sir.
I am so disappointed in you. See, it is because you have been a good girl since the day I've known you. That is the grace you are just enjoying now. Go and redo this work.
All right.
Do it with a perfect standard way.
All right.
You hear me? Or else,
Thank you, sir.
you will spill, you will splash, and you will smoke.
No, Oga. Thank you, sir.
See,
Omo. 50K followers. Me no. 51. Hey, Jesus. 50 others. Let me call my friend.
I see you here today.
Alright, how are you?
You have been on your phone since morning.
See. I have many orders coming in, so I have to work. You know, there. You check what? What is it? What do you want? What? Hey, thank you very much. With AI, everything is possible. You just tell me to teach you. What's all this now? See, even my business is blooming. You know that my brand I talked to you about, orders are coming in. See, I just told AI to make my kilo deal. Saying, hey, you can hear me well like this. See, I told AI to help me strategize some things.
I want to hear you. You know you are short, so let me talk to you.
You know what? I'm going.
Calm down now.
So, audience, you can all see, despite the slides, the disruptive technology and artificial intelligence in our digital world today, you can all see that artificial intelligence is now a great booster in our digital economy today. Now we have AI, despite the fact that it has a negative effects. Now we have content creators that are earning a lot through artificial intelligence and disruptive technology. I'm not actually saying students of nowadays should not use AI to do their work, but the fact that you have human and you can actually think with your brain and you can actually support that with just a little factor from AI. So thank you so much. To round this up, I would like to show you some beautiful dance from our dancers.
Well, thank you very much. And those are students from the Department of Performing and Film Arts. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, what we've been saying is that artificial intelligence will work perfectly well with human intelligence. And we do not need to entertain any fear that maybe what you're doing will be taken away by artificial intelligence. Just make yourself also so much relevant and active, and see how you can incorporate that into what you're doing to be a better person. So once again, we want to thank you very much, student from the Performing and Film Arts Department. We appreciate you. And I'd like to also let the audience here know that our former dean of the faculty, Professor Lukman Adeshina Aziz, also joined us virtually to be part of this program. So Professor Aziz, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Let's appreciate Professor Aziz, ladies and gentlemen. Next, in the next 2 minutes or thereabouts, we want to listen to the chief, the co-host, the Dean, Faculty of Philology, RUDN University, the Russian Federation, Professor Barabash Victor Vladimirovich. Are we set? The co-hosts? Prof, we are ready. The technical?
Dear colleagues, dear partners, on behalf of RUDN University, named after Patrice Lumumba, I am pleased to welcome all participants of the conference and our colleagues from the University of Lorraine. It is a great honor for us to serve as co-organizers of this international academic event dedicated to one of the defining issues of our time, the relationship between human beings, digital technologies, and artificial intelligence. Today, artificial intelligence is transforming communication, education, media, and the very structure of social life. That is why it is so important to discuss these changes not only from a technological perspective, but also from a human-centered one, through the questions of ethics, responsibility, culture, and the future of human interaction. We especially value the international and interdisciplinary nature of this conference. When universities, researchers, and experts from different countries come together in open scientific dialogue, new ideas, collaborative projects, and strong academic partnerships emerge. I would like to thank the University of Learning, the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, and all the participants for the high level of preparation of this event and for their contribution to international cooperation in academic exchange. I wish everyone productive discussions, inspiring conversations, and new collaborative projects. May this conference become not only a platform for sharing knowledge, but also a space for shaping a responsible vision of our shared digital future. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Barabash. We appreciate you also. And thank you for doing this with us at the University of Ilorin. We appreciate you. And congratulations to you as well, as we're congratulating University of Ilorin on the success of this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, time will only permit us to take 3 goodwill messages, after which we'll take the vote of thanks to close this session. There will be breakout sessions also much later in the course of this. And we're starting the goodwill messages with the Commander 22 Armored Brigade, Sobe Cantonment, Ilorin Brigadier General NN Rumen.
Let me just quickly say that in the army we call this ambush because it's an unexpected attack. Permit me also to please stand on existing already established protocol. But I'd like to start here by expressing my gratitude to the keynote speaker for the very warm and kind words he used to describe me. I'd like to say something. This has brought me a job in our forum several times because nowadays in the army, if anybody has an issue to solve with the customs, he says, Rumi, come and call your people. So, sir, thank you very much. But I just also want to add here that, sir, your appointment as the Controller General of Customs has seen so much progress and innovation in the system. I say this because I know, because I've worked with you for some time. And I see the difference that your period has caused, and also the professionalism that the customs is evolving into. Thank you very much for the service that you do. Now, to the university community, this is one of the places where any Nigerian that is not a university lecturer does not want to be. And that is standing in front of you, except you don't want to tell yourself the truth. Now, when I graduated from NDA, of course, each time I'm asked, what degree do you have? And I say, I have a bachelor degree in so. And they say, from where? And I'll say NDA. They say, where is that? Is that a school? So I said, okay, let me just improve things. I went to ABU and tried to do a master's. I wrote my thesis, and then they called me to go to Liberia, so I couldn't defend it. I came back, I went to Abuja, the same thing, like magic. Almost writing thesis, and then I had to go to the Northeast. When I came back, they said, no, you're not a student here now. Anyway, somehow I managed to get one, but I know what I've gone through, so I don't like standing in front of you. Because I'm sure some of you have brought out your notebooks already to say, it's correct or it's wrong. Despite being a member of the academia myself in our service, I've taught for more than 17 years, yet standing here always makes me very humble. Now, another event, one of the really first and most humbling events that has happened to me since coming to Kwara was, of course, at the University Teaching Hospital here in UNILORN. That girl was talking about short people. Nice, it's showing. Anyway, as a result of the armed banditry and some of the events that are happening, sometimes we have to be in the field with soldiers and all that. On 2 occasions, we were ambushed. On one of those occasions, some of our officers were wounded. We got them to University Hospital by 2 a.m. and we started calling. And a professor, a doctor, a professor came out at that time and stayed with us until 8 p.m. the following day. And you know, that day I realized that, well, you may think you're in the front, but then there are other frontiers that are walking around you. And she was very, very, very humble and very professional. So I want to use the opportunity to thank you and to thank everybody for what he does, and then say that may all our collective efforts result in progress for our dear nation. Once again, thank you very much for allowing me to speak here, and I wish everybody well. Thank you.
You know, coming into the University of Ilorin, you see on a board there that you're welcome to a lifelong partnership. So whoever, any organization, any individual we're having anything to do with will stand by them. This is our job. Thank you very much. We appreciate you from SOBI. And next to speak, the Director General Archon, ably represented by Dr. Amen Akonde.
I have been hearing of University of Ilorin, and I know I used to say, one day I'm going to come to this university. Today, I got in here for the first time. I actually love the serenity and the ambience about this place. I just want to say, VC, well done. It's a good place to be. I want to apologize on behalf of my DG who couldn't make it here because of the exigency of work. I will just go ahead. But before then, I want to say the Vice Chair, the Vice Chancellor, ably represented, the university community, members of the academia, our guest speaker, and also the keynote speaker. Sir, your lecture was quite insightful and educative. God bless you, sir. And I wish to start on the existing protocol. Goodwill message by the Director General Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria on the occasion of the 4th Biennial International Conference of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences. Theme: Disruptive Technology, Human and Artificial Intelligence in the Digital Economy. On behalf of the Regulatory Council of Nigeria, I congratulate the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences on the 4th Biennial International Conference. The theme, Disruptive Technology, Human and Artificial Intelligence in the Digital Economy, is very apt. Communication and advertising speak directly to the future of advertising. Artificial intelligence is transforming how content is created, distributed, and consumed, offering new opportunities for creativity, efficiency, and economic growth. As a regulatory body mandated to ensure responsible and ethical advertising practice in Nigeria, ACON is committed to fostering innovation while safeguarding public interest. Our role is to create a framework where human creativity and artificial intelligence can work together to build trust, promote local content, and contribute meaningfully to the digital economy. I must say here, a few years ago, ACON came up with a proclamation in which we said every advertisement that is exposed must have 75% local content. I stand here to say here that there is a lot of compliance. Most of the adverts we now have at least 75 local content. Yes. I commend the Dean of the faculty for the good work she's doing. I also commend the faculty for creating this platform for dialogue between the academia, the industry, and policy. May your discussions generate insights that will strengthen both the practice and regulation of communication in Nigeria's digital economy. I wish you a successful and impactful conference. Thank you. Dr. Olalekan Fadolapo, FRPA Director General, ARCON. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, madam, for your compliments on University of Ilorin. And the beautiful thing about it, madam, is we don't say bye to our guests. We'll say we'll see you again. We'd love to see you another time on the soil of University of Ilorin. Thank you very much. We have our royal fathers, and to speak on behalf of them, and we'd like to invite here the Taliban of Ebiraland for his goodwill message.
Permission to adopt the already wonderfully established protocols, including the one that the brigade commander stated, where he said in military terms he was ambushed. I am being ambushed here. I was not prepared to speak. And the people that are responsible, I know your address. This is a homecoming for me on many fronts. First, I'm a proud alumni of this great university. I finished a little over 2 decades ago, if I'm not mistaken. It is also homecoming for me because when I saw the topic, took me back about some 6-7 years ago. I was privileged to participate in a program hosted by the Harvard Business School on disruptive innovations, and it was led then by the man who was known as the father of disruptive innovations. He's late now, I think Mr. Clayton. It was incredible how brilliant the entire sphere of that topic is. And so when my elder sister, the dean of this faculty, who is yet an embodiment of one of the reasons this is a homecoming for me, because she's my elder sister for many years, Professor Mrs. Baku. When she invited me in here, I said, okay, well, academic programs aren't too, I don't find them exciting because I'm a restless person. But I thought this topic, I shouldn't miss it. now I'm beating myself up for coming late. Because what I met the keynote speaker delivering, my goodness. Sir, I think you are a gift that keeps giving. I have read about you. I have seen you speak on behalf of the service when you were the public relations, but I've never seen you speak live. Even though I did have fears that maybe I might eventually fall into the class of those that will doze off, you didn't give me a chance to sleep. I had every reason to sleep, as a matter of fact. I started the treatment of malaria this morning. I almost missed it, this program. I was feeling dizzy when I was on my way here. But the moment I began to listen to him, he gave me no reason, no chance, not even a second to even sleep. Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful presentation. Very insightful. To the coup plotters that got me onto this stage, you know, we have been brothers for many years. We've been friends. And on that note, you know that we quarrel a lot. On this particular topic, I hope it is not lost on the faculty, the challenge thrown to you today by the CG. He has tasked you to find a way for the town to meet the gown. On behalf of our fathers, the royal fathers here present, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the faculty. I want to thank the members of the faculty, the students, and the pupils from secondary school who have come for making this a very successful one. Thank you very much.
Did you hear that? He listened to the lecture and got better. Maybe that's what AI will not do to you. Only human intelligence will do that. You know, when the speaker was done with his lecture, and I didn't come up immediately, we could see that there is the need for human intelligence to be here, not AI. So these are some of the things. So we need to complement all of this. Thank you very much. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we welcome His Excellency, the Governor of Kwara State, and the Chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum, Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, CON, who is here today, be represented by Alhaji Sahad Salahuddin, FNIPR.
The chief host of this historic event, the Vice Chancellor of the Better by Far University, ably represented, the keynote speaker, other members of the university here present, my dear sister and dean, Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, Professor Saudat Sala, congratulations. Commandants of security agencies here present, our traditional rulers, brothers and sisters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to stand in for our leader, our mentor and role model, His Excellency Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, CON, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, Chairman, Governors Forum, and Sardauna of UNILORN. Before I proceed, I want to join everybody here to condone the CG customs for the loss of our two patriots, as reported to us. May their soul rest in perfect peace. In addition, we must thank the CG for making us proud, for being able to appear here as the keynote speaker. Whoever had issue or cause to pursue at the headquarters of customs, you will know it's not easy to have 1 minute time of the CG customs. For him to have taken pain and his time to accept the invitation to be the keynote speaker and put down such excellent piece of academic works, and to be here with us physically, I think all of us need to give him one arousing applause. He's one brother and one of us, a professional par excellence in the Institute of Nigeria Public Relations. Indeed, a former vice president of the Institute that has made us proud in the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. We want to thank you. We want to commend you that we are proud of you. The reason I'll ask for one more applause is that Dr. Bashir Adeniyi stands out as one of the few that have supported your sister, Professor Saudat Salah, in the Institute. It is the reason he is here physically against all odds. Once again, we thank you. Goodwill message on behalf of His Excellency. I stand before you today as a fellow of the Institute, representing His Excellency the Governor of Kwara State. This conference on disruptive technology is timely. In Kwara, our approach is simple. We use technology to solve real problems for real people and build partnerships that make that possible. Let me share 3 areas where this vision is coming alive. Kwara State has deliberately positioned itself as a subnational partner for global technology players. Through a memorandum of understanding with the US Embassy, our State Innovation Hub is now connected to international expertise, mentorship, and funding pipelines. And it is the first of its kind in Nigeria. We have also secured partnerships with IHS Towers, a leading technology company in the global space, MTN, and other global brands to expand digital infrastructure and create pathway for youth innovation. Sorry. The goal is to make UNILORN and Kwara a credible destination for technology investment and talent in West Africa. Secondly, we have scaled digital governance and scaled to the grassroots. Through programs like Kwara Learn, we're using real-time data and digital tools to improve learning outcomes in public primary schools across all the 16 local government areas. Beyond the state capital, we are decentralizing access, The ICT Center at Ibadan is a flagship example, a state-of-the-art facility providing digital literacy, coding, and entrepreneurship training to young people in Kwara South. It ensures that artificial intelligence and digitalization are not limited to UNILORN, but reach every part of the state. Thirdly, we know artificial intelligence is only as good as the people who understand and use it. That is why the Kwara Technology Innovation Hub, an initiative like Tech Unlimited, are training thousands of youths in data analysis, software development, and artificial intelligence fundamentals. This work is backed by policy, our 2021 gender composition law mandates 35% representation of women in public appointments. For us, inclusive governance and ethical artificial intelligence go hand in hand. Technology must create jobs, protect dignity, and expand opportunity. Distinguished guests, Kwara State is open for partnership. We invite researchers, investors, and innovators to work with us in piloting and scaling artificial intelligence and digital solutions in agriculture, healthcare, education, and governance. Our ambition is clear: to make Kwara a test bed for ethical, inclusive, and scalable disruptive technology in Nigeria. Before I sit down, I want to share my personal opinion with you. You will recall in the earlier part of the keynote speaker presentation, he gave us the example of the negative side of AI. Interaction in the first sweep where somebody loses over $1 billion. I have a senior colleague of mine who couples of weeks we were discussing about AI, and he confided in me that he could not share with anybody that even at his level, a university lecturer, a don of repute, a practitioner of international standard, that I would not believe that he fell victim of content generation by those who are using AI for negative purposes. Therefore, for this reason, while congratulating and commending the far better university, the University of UNILORN, the Dean of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, and our keynote speaker for contributing to debates on the two sides of AI, it's important for us all to appreciate there are 3 approaches to handling the AI evolution. The human society is governed by law, regulations, and ethics. Therefore, whatever innovation we have should also be governed by law and ethics. Today, globally, there are 3 approaches. Liberal approach, which is adopted by the United States. Regulatory approach, which is in force in Europe. And the last, total state control by China. It is open to you as contributors, to policymakers, to our lawmakers, particularly as we move on into the 2027 elections. I want to thank you for your participation. Thank you very much.
And for the vote of thanks, thank you very much, Your Excellency. While Dr. Mustafa Mohammed Jarami is getting ready for the vote of thanks, we have a presentation to our keynote speaker, Didinma.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It has been a day well spent. All of us have received the blessings of the Almighty by the presence of our Father, the Controller General of Nigerian Customs in our midst. We will not let him go without having a little token as a symbol of appreciation for his leaving his time to come and be with us here. It is out of love and nothing else. And there's nothing that we can give you that can equate what you have sacrificed to be here with us. We really, really appreciate you. To lead the presentation, I want to invite the first female dean of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, Professor Mejabi, the HODs in the faculty, and all the professors in the faculty to come and do this presentation. Thank you. Please keep clapping until they get here. We appreciate you. Professor Jabeb, Professor Baje, Professor Amin, Professor Babalola, Professor Mustafa, Professor Basharon, Professor Udende, Professor Yekule, Professor Adisa, our mama, Professor Idowu, Professor Ahmed, Professor Omokupa is just coming in. Professor Omokupa, the university librarian. We are very happy that you are one of us and that you are proud to identify with us. Please join us on this side.
Something, please.
Yes, our subdean, Dr. Jacob Priscilla. Our faculty officer, Mr. Isa.
Let the audience see it.
Our co-host, representative of our co-host, Professor M.J. Mustafa, from Faculty of Philology, RUDN University, Russia Federation.
So the
Sorry. I humbly invite our VC, our registrar, and our bursar to please join us. And His Excellency, the visionary governor of Kwara State and chairman Nigeria Governors Forum. Thank you. Sir, please come to the front. so that you'll be able to read it.
On behalf of the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences, it is my pleasure on behalf of also my principal, the Vice Chancellor of the University of UNILORN, to present this award of excellence and appreciation to Dr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, DSM, FNI, PR, PSC, the Controller General of Customs, Federal Republic of Nigeria. In appreciation of your distinguished presence and intellectual contributions as the keynote speaker on disruptive technology, human and artificial intelligence in digital economy at the 4th Biennial International Conference organized by the Faculty of Communication and Information Sciences in collaboration with RUDN University, Russia. Thank you for inspiring the academic community to harmoniously balance human capability with the limitless powers of artificial intelligence. You are a true vanguard of technology. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Earlier today in the Vice Chancellor's conference room, I received an award. Now I know that in UNILORN, an award does not come without a professorial dissertation. So Professor Alfanla delivered a dissertation at that time. Now I'm receiving another one with a full-fledged lecture embedded inside this. I want to most gratefully appreciate the university community, the faculty, the Vice Chancellor, representative of His Excellency, the Governor, and indeed all of you who have collectively made this disruptive poster available to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Very much.
Okay. Okay. We want to snap together.
Okay. HOD Telecom, HOD Mass Com, HOD Computer, HOD ISP.
Heads of Department, CIS. All right, thank you very much. Please, we found a phone. You come with proof of ownership to claim it. For the vote of thanks, I'm inviting Dr. Mustafa Mohammed Jamil of RUDN University, Russia.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would say I would thank Almighty Allah for making this day possible. But after that, I would like to really appreciate the university before I even proceed with the thanking in order. Why? I must say that for the past 4 years that I've been bringing programs and projects from RUDN or from Russia, this university will be the first university we are organizing an international academic conference with. To be sincere, I appreciate this and I appreciate the gesture of the university. First, to appreciate the Controller General, Dr. Bashir Adewale. Like my colleague said, that we should appreciate you and we should also ask you to extend our greetings to your wife, who you initially mentioned earlier. But we've seen that he has done justice to the theme and the topic, and especially by challenging us in an academic environment, even though the exact challenge that he challenged us to do is the exact thing we're about to commence in the next 1 hour. That is discussing several topics around the challenge, around that particular theme. So we appreciate what you've done, the justice you've done to this. Additionally, another thing that is very important is for him to represent, or for him to appreciate the younger generation we have here. It's a big one, an inspiration, that for them to know that this particular topic is of highly relevance for them today and tomorrow. And we believe that you guys will take all the lessons, not only to listen to them, but to also act with them now and in future. We thank the governor of this state, Governor Abdulrazak Abdurrahman, especially through his representative. Thank you for gracing the occasion. Please extend our gratitude to the governor. The commander, 22 Armored Brigade, Brigadier General N.N. Rume, we thank you. The Vice Chancellor, the DVCs, the Registrar, the Deputy Registrar, the Liberian, the Royal Fathers, and their entourage here present, the Talba of Ebira, and Alhaji Amsa, and the other royal and highnesses who are here with us. The Dean of various faculties here present. Special thanks to the Faculty of Computer and Information Sciences for collaborating with us, and also all the conference participants from far and near, from other African countries, Europe and Asia. The secondary school students here, Anur Islamic, Air Force Road, Olojed, Mrs. Yusuf and Barakat, and Imam Ali Aga Nuruddin. UNILORN School led by Mr. Abdul Jahil Siddiq. I believe we can be clapping and appreciating each of them as we're saying that. Government Secondary School and Ilorin led by Mr. Umar Abubakar. Ikra College led by Mr. Lawal Tawhid. The cultural performing team of the Department of Performing Arts, thank you for that refreshing interlude. The gentlemen of the press, permit me to end this note by thanking those who have worked tirelessly, especially those who have worked with all the committees who I have personally worked with. Whenever I come with my own ideas from our side, they listen carefully and they are ready to work with us. I appreciate your work. Professor Abikoye, we thank you. The Dr. G.B. Balogun Welfare, we thank you. Dr. Naim Balogun, we thank you. Dr. Akade, we thank you. Dr. O.A. Laro, we thank you. Dr. Aidi Oladipo, we thank you. Mr. Ismail Isa, Dr. Professor Teller, and Professor Amos Baje. And special thanks to Professor Saudat Baki, the Dean of the Faculty of Communication and Information Science. Thank you all, and like UNILORN will say, see you next time. They want me to speak in Russia. In Russia, we say, thank you, Miss Spasiba.
Okay. Well, the uniform men were waiting for you to quickly do this before the anthems. Okay, there will be group photograph after the anthems. Our traditional rulers will do with him, but then let's quickly close. Let's close first. Kabiyesi, after closing, we'll do that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we all rise first for the university anthem, then we'll take the national pledge. the university anthem, then the national pledge. The national pledge. I pledge to Nigeria and my country to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. Thank you very much, everyone, for being a part of this. Please invite our royal fathers up the stage to quickly have their own group photograph with our keynote speaker. For others, the group photograph will be outside of the auditorium, but please let's honor our royal fathers. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you. Good afternoon.
Exclusive to JohnBiz.com.